But it's also the life experience, and it's going to basically, just make your time there and much more fun. It's one of those in 10, 20, 30 years that you will look back to and be like, right, I actually decided to do this, and it's something that you can be very proud of. Hi, thank you so much. My name is Julia. I am the EF Perf School Director. I am originally from Austria myself, so from Europe, and I've been living in Perth for a bit over 2 years now, taking care of our beautiful Perth school with all our lovely students there. So I'm the EF Perth School Director, so that means that I'm responsible for the Perth school, so our language campus, and the students, the staff, so everything connected to the school. We have got students from all over the world studying with us, and really excited to hopefully welcome all of you to our campus soon as well. So what makes Perth special is the combination of city life and the beaches being really close by. Not being from Perth myself, quite frankly, before I came to Perth, I did not know a lot about the school and in general just the campus and the city either. So what makes Perth special is that you have a really vibrant city centre. You've got bars, cafes, restaurants, everything at the school's doorstep, while you at the same time are really close to beautiful beaches, beautiful national parks, and everything is you can basically reach all of it with public transport. Australia, and Perth in particular, is actually the sunset capital of Australia, so we do have the most sun rays in all of Australia, and especially if you compare that to other destinations and other countries, definitely a great place to visit and to study. So what is great about studying in Australia and in Perth especially is that you can actually work while you're studying as well. So there is 2 visa types that you can go with there, and you have the possibility to, of course, improve your language, but at the same time also have the opportunity to study and work. So on a student visa, for example, you can work up to 24 hours a week, which is amazing, because if you compare that to the US or the UK, that unfortunately isn't possible there. So if you are looking for improving your English while also getting valuable work experience and of course experiencing Australian lifestyle, Perth is the place for you. What is great about studying at EF Perth is that you have the opportunity to work while you study. So most of our students, they come and find jobs in the hospitality industry, so working in a bar, in a restaurant, in a hotel, in retail, so working in a supermarket or in shops, or other than that, if you have previous skills, something connected to handiwork. Maybe you have experience in building things. So depending on your previous experience, obviously there's different options. Most of it will be in hospitality and retail, which obviously is quite great and perfect because it does work next to your studies, because basically those hours are more flexible. You're able to work on the weekends in a restaurant, for example, in the mornings before school when you go to a cafe. So great opportunities for you to work. We actually offer something called the Job Club. And it's a great way for you to feel confident in the Australian work life. So Job Club is a service that we at EF offer for our students in order to adjust to the working world in Australia. So as an example, we help you to get information on how to apply for jobs, where to apply for jobs, how to have a great CV. We give you tips on interview skills. So really making sure to give you all the resources and tools in order to find a job. What is important, you still need to apply for the job yourself and of course go to the interviews, but we are there along your way and help you with all the questions that you might have. The most important one, really making sure that we check your CV, that it's really as best that it could be. The Job Club sessions are done on a weekly basis. You can join as many times as you want to, and there's additional resources available all around school. We've got posters with QR codes, with resources for you to use. We have something called the Job Club community on WhatsApp. So we actually have a WhatsApp group that you can join, where on a weekly basis we are posting job openings, so things for you to apply to. It's really a great way to, especially in the beginning when you're maybe a little bit unsure where to start, I highly recommend join one of our Job Club sessions in order to just really get all the information that you need. So what's great about Australia is that the minimum wage is actually quite high. So it's more than $24 on an hourly basis. If you are on a casual basis, which means that you are being paid per hour that you have worked, the minimum wage is actually more than $30. So it's really, really great, to get that extra income while you are there. So both from a money perspective, but of course also work experience wise, which will help you in the future when you apply for a job or university when you come back to Korea. So what is great is that we have a quite big mix of nationalities in Perth. So, from European students, so French, Italian, German, Swiss, Austrian, all the European countries, paired with Latin America, so Colombia, Chile, Mexico, all the way to Japan, Taiwan. So really a great mix there. We do have some Korean students, of course, as well, which is nice because you have that feeling of being at home while still being able to, obviously not speak Korean all the time, but because you came here to learn English. We also always say, so we have a very guideline in school where we say English only. So no matter who you're with, if it's in an activity or in school, we always keep the promise to each other that we want to communicate in English for two reasons. Number one, you came here to learn English. You kind of already know Korean. But the number two is we also want to make sure that everybody feels included. So, even if you are with another Korean student, as an example, we will remind you. I typically tend to say, what language did you come here to learn again? Or Korean is a beautiful language, but what's even nicer? How about English? Just really making sure that you make the most out of your experience and you learn and improve as much as you can. Absolutely. So I myself moved to Australia a bit over 2 years ago. So I know how it feels to go to a new culture, a new country, and to be away from home. Same with all of our team. So everyone in our school has either lived abroad themselves or is living abroad themselves at the moment. So we truly understand what it means to take that step and to give a new country and new culture a shot. What we do to support you, especially in the beginning, but really also throughout the whole year is, especially in the first weeks, to make sure that you feel welcomed and that you have all the resources that you need. So on your first day, we help you to get your public transportation card. You can get the SIM card with us in school, so you don't have to worry about any of that. We give you resources on how to open a bank account, how to get your tax file number if you want to work, all the way to giving you a walking tour. So we will show you around Perth on your first day. We will actually take you to get your public transport card done. And then we also have little check-ins throughout your journey. So as an example, after the welcome presentation and after your first day, we have speed friending. So we get everyone together to make sure that you already find new friends and that you get to connect with other people. On Wednesday in your first week, we have something called Wellness Wednesday, which really is a checkpoint to make sure how are you adapting, how are you feeling, and we always care about our students' feedback. So what I always say in the welcome presentation as well is, if you have a question, if you have a problem, please ask, or if you have any concerns, let us know. We are here to help. We have a very open door policy, so whenever you need something, you don't need to book an appointment. You can just come see us at the front desk. My door is always open, so whenever you need something, you just let us know so we can help and support you through it. Bali is not a honeymoon destination for us. Bali is actually a weekend trip that we do with our students. So if you're with us, typically every quarter, so every 3 to 4 months, we take a group of students to Bali to explore the island. And it's a really fun weekend trip. It's only 3.5 hours from Perth, so a really quick flight. And typically what we do there is we have a surfing lesson together. We have a look at the rice terraces, do a coffee plantation, explore the north of Bali, and then we also, like the last trip, we actually went snorkeling on Nusa Penida, which was beautiful, real life aquarium. So really just exploring the fish and the water there. But also in Perth, there is amazing activities for you to do. So on a monthly basis, we create an activity plan and always make sure that there is something in there for everyone. So the activity plan typically actually involves free activities, so activities that are free of charge, and paid activities for anything that requires an entrance. So as an example, we organize day trips. So one of our favorite one is Rottnest Island, which is to explore the island just half an hour outside of Perth, where you can see the cute little quokkas, which are absolutely adorable. They are called Australia's and the world's happiest animal. The challenge is you need to take a selfie with them and have them smile from a safe distance, of course. But it's also great to go snorkeling, to go swimming. We typically explore the island by bike, or if you don't want a bike, there's also a bus taking you around. So definitely a must-do when you come to Perth. Another really fun day trip is going to the Pinnacles Desert, which is about 3 hours north of Perth. So we take our students there for a day trip. The first stop is we go into a koala sanctuary, so we can see koalas in real life and in their natural habitat. The second one is we go sandboarding, so you can actually sandboard down a sand dune. If you're scared like me, I'm not able to do it standing, then you can also sit down and actually do it sitting. Still a lot of fun. And then the last stop is the Pinnacle Desert, where we then do stargazing together. Perth itself has amazing things to do. So you can explore restaurants, bars. We go to brewery tours with our students, but also, you know, we go to museums. There's a really fun prison that we can explore together in Fremantle, paired with going to a sporting event. So you can, go see an Australian football game, a rugby game, a basketball game, pretty much any sport that you think of. There's going to be a season around and a game to play and to watch. And it's really, really big part of Australian culture. If you're interested and actually want to do sports yourself, we're actually organizing a sports club on a weekly basis where you can play football, so soccer or basketball. And we go on a running club. So I actually take students on a weekly basis. We go explore Perth, especially around the Swan River by running. And we also have our rugby program. So you can actually become part of an Australian rugby team, get to know Australian culture, play with a team there, and really become part of the community. Other than that, of course, we also make sure that we include nightlife activities. So may it be, social drinks or exploring to you what our students love, their beloved Mustang bar. It's a Wednesday staple activity. So really loads of things to do in the city as well, mixed with, of course, anything that you can think of beach related. So may it be a beach barbecue, surfing, swimming, snorkeling, any water activity. Perth has, as the city itself, has 19 beautiful beaches. If you go a little bit outside, there is countless more. So really a bit of everything for all of you guys to explore. So I'm actually really, really proud of our host families and the network that we have created there, because our hosts truly care about hosting. So when we look for host families, the first question we ask is, why do you want to be an EF host family? And what we look for in a good host family is they want to share their culture. Australian host families are very diverse. So Australia itself is a very international community. So many of our hosts they might have international background themselves, but have been living in Australia for all of their life. So again, many of them really understand what it means to go abroad and to explore a new culture. When we look for a new host family, we always make sure that they are carefully selected. So what we do is we have a criminal background check that we look into, something called in Perth, it is the Working with Children check. We do interview our host families to really make sure that the intentions are right. And then of course, we also visit their home. So we look into what your bedroom is going to look like. We look into what the common area looks like to really make sure that you have a home away from home. And we do that on a regular basis. So even though, we have visited a host family in the past, we do that at least in regular intervals to make sure that it still is the same and nothing has changed. Now, does that mean that everything is always going to be perfect? Not necessarily. And why? Because you live with a host and you get to explore a different culture. So what this means is communication. If you feel like you're not with the right host family for you, please let us know. Because if we know that you're, having some concerns or there are some questions that you have, that gives us the chance to speak to you, speak to the host family and find a solution together. For our long-term students, so our academic year students, we have a special mentorship mentorship program, which is great because you basically get a mentor. We actually call it a house. So I'm a big Harry Potter fan. If you are not, there's 4 houses in Harry Potter. We have a couple of houses at Perth. We've got the dolphins, we've got the emus, we have the quokkas. So basically Australian animal houses, and when you arrive as an academic year student to Perth, you will be sorted in one of those houses based on your current English level. So again, making sure that you get the most learning experience out of it. On a monthly basis, you will then meet your mentor, and your mentor is somebody from the staff membership. So I myself, for example, I'm responsible for the Dolphin House, and we meet on a monthly basis where we support and discuss, your goals, why you came to Australia, what you want to achieve, what are some bucket list activities, and how I and we can help you to get there. So recent mentorship activities that we have done is I've let you try my favorite Australian snacks. So if you haven't heard of it, there's something called Tim Tams that you definitely need to try when you come to Australia. But also, we went for ice cream. We did a sausage sizzle. So a sausage sizzle is a special Australian barbecue that you definitely need to try while you're here. We've got the barbecue in school or also at the beach. And with the mentorship program, we really focus on your welfare. So making sure that you are adjusting well, that you're feeling welcomed. If you have any concerns, sometimes, you might feel that things are different to back home. So we will go through that together and make sure you're supported on that front. We will go through your academic goals, so making sure that you're on track of where you want to be and what you want to achieve, as well as any other ideas or feedback or anything that you might have. And outside of those official mentorship meetings, your mentor is of course there for you if you need anything. So again, as I mentioned, our doors are always open, so you do have that extra person that is there to support you if you have any questions, any concerns, and we always want to make sure that you make friends as easily and quickly as possible. My favorite ones are when students find jobs in their community. So what I mean by that, we had an Italian student that actually found a job in an Italian restaurant, which obviously was really, really nice because he obviously still had to speak English because, it's an Italian restaurant in Australia, but it made him remind him of feeling like home because, like the food, the smell, just like the atmosphere was very much like his home while he was doing it from far away. At the same time, we've got students that tried something completely new. We had a student that has never worked in a hotel before, and they actually found a job in a place called Duxton Hotel, so like one of the hotels in Perth, and they came back and let us know that it was one of the best experiences they have ever had because they actually got to broaden their horizon. They hadn't thought about working in a hotel, they didn't know the vocabulary, they didn't really know the way around, but they really felt like it helped them to improve. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things, right? Yes, you find a job to work, you find a job to earn money, which is great, but it's also the life experience that you get that you can then later on use for your CV, for when you apply for a university back in Korea, or if you apply for a job, being able to put on your resume that you've got a job or even an internship in Australia is something that, many other Koreans most likely won't be able to show on their CV, which makes a big, big difference. So tip-wise, I would say be open-minded. Don't be too fixed on the area that you want to work in. There's great jobs out there, and it's one of those where the more open-minded you are with the kind of work, the easier it's going to be to find one. And then the second one, be patient, be kind to yourself. Sometimes it might take a couple of weeks before you find a job, but it's all going to be worth it. And again, if you have concerns, please let us know. We are here to help, so even outside the job club sessions, if you want us to check your CV again, or if you have a concern, if you had applied for a job and you're like, oh, is this a good one? Please come and ask us. We are always there to help. I would say, number one, it's absolutely normal to be nervous in the beginning, but keep in mind that all of the other students are nervous too. So It's a big step. It's one that will change your life forever. I always give an example to the students of myself. When I was 18 years old, I decided to go abroad myself. I was an au pair in the US. So I decided to go abroad myself. And it's one of those things where if I hadn't done that, I definitely would not be sitting here in beautiful Seoul right now speaking about Australia, because I probably would never have gone to Australia myself if I hadn't taken that first step at age 18 going abroad myself. And I think it's one of those things, is a tip itself is speak to people, speak to us, go to activities. I think is another great way to make friends, especially in the beginning. We always make sure that there is a mix of paid and unpaid activities, so that there is something out there for everyone. And it might seem scary because you don't know anyone, and you might feel, oh, should I really go to this activity? But again, keep in mind, everybody else, it's also their first time. They don't know anybody else either. So join up for activities, because it is the opportunity for you to make friends. It is the opportunity for you to explore the country, the culture, and it's going to basically, just make your time there and much, much, much more fun. And also, it's one of those in 10, 20, 30 years that you will look back to and be like, right, I actually decided to do this, and it's something that you can be very, very proud of. Couple of fun facts about Perth that you might not know is, number one, it's the sunset capital of Australia. So we have amazing weather in Australia, in Perth, all year round. So, in summer, it is very hot and dry, so that's what typically students really like, because it's not that humid. So you can go to the beach, you can go swimming, you can go snorkeling. You've got all of these like waterside activities that Australia is obviously known for. Now, what to do in winter? Well, the great news is winter, we've still got 20 degrees. So you've still got plenty of things to do, and it's perfect to go for brunch with your friends, when it's not that hot. It's amazing to go for a drink in the late afternoon to watch the sunset. I always say Perth has one of the most beautiful sunsets you will ever see. The sun actually goes down over the ocean. The colors are surreal. So definitely make sure that you check out the beaches there. And then as of the campus itself, what is really, really fun and good as well is that we do offer Cambridge exam. So in Perth, you can actually study and do the exam with us in school. So we are in a Cambridge exam centre, which means that you can do the preparation with us. So we make sure that you feel well prepared, and then you can even take the exam right with us in school. So really making sure you're having the whole way through there. I think otherwise the school is in a really central location, so really easy to get around with. So before and after school, you can go to grab a coffee with your friends. You can go grab some lunch or dinner or even breakfast, depending on how early you like to wake up. There is many great things, like we've got rooftop movie theaters, we've got festivals, especially in summer, lots of music festivals. We actually have one of the biggest fringe festivals in Perth, which is basically a comedy / show theater weeks in a sense. So you get to explore that if you're there, while the fringe is on. So there's always something happening in and around campus. I would always say join the activities, because it's one of the options for you to really dive into the culture there.